And thumbnails on YouTube are everything. Everything. If you want your videos to get clicks, you need to be focused on this aspect. And I'm talking about before you press record. I'm talking about before you write your script or your outline for your video. If you know the title going into that video, it unlocks everything for you. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be giving you some tips on how to get better at titling your videos so you get kabillions of views the next time you post a video. And we're also going to be taking your questions as well, because if you didn't know, this is a live stream. And I say that not to the people who are here live, but to those watching after the fact. Be sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you can be here to ask your questions next time you're live, but sit back and enjoy otherwise. And to those of you who are here live, thank you so much. Let's bring in Mr. Viper. How's it going?
Are we live? Are we really live, Dan? You're telling us it's a live stream, but is it really a live stream?
It says live. All right. I can't promise anything.
Okay. All right. You know, the beautiful thing about live streams is that they're unedited and unprepared or rehearsed, so anything can happen at any time. But hello, you all. Good to see you again. Appreciate all of you all being here. Dan, hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am good. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So what we're talking about today are titles. How are you feeling with the titles? I know you're still getting started with this new channel you've made. I know it just I think you hit 1,000 subscribers, right?
I did. Yeah.
Congrats. Thank you. How have you been feeling about your titles?
You know what? Pretty good. I think I've talked about it before a few times on these live streams, but when you are thinking about your titles, you really have to create them in such a way that you want to let people know what to expect or what's going on with a particular video, but you want to leave an air of curiosity. And I think Rob explained that in the recent video that I highlighted yesterday. But you don't want to give away everything. It's funny. I compared it to how on social media and the different things. Then when there's a big movie coming out and the trailers are released, and a lot of people sometimes they get mad because they're like the whole movie was given away in the trailer. That is the feeling that you don't want. When people look at your title, you don't want to give away the entire thing. You want to leave them wondering what the video is going to be about. You want to make them click on the video, so they need to have that part to finish the story. So I think we're going to get into some of that today, and I'm excited.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different ways to kind of approach this. I've pulled up some examples I want to show you, and we have a new tool that even if you're a free vidIQ user, you're not paying for the software, you have access, you have limited access to this tool. But for those who are thinking of purchasing vidIQ, if you're a new customer, there is a link down below. 30 days, absolutely free, our entire suite of tools. That means you're getting 50 daily ideas a day. That means you have unlimited access to the tool we're about to show you. So we're going to show you this because I think it's going to help you take your titles to that next level, kick them up a notch at a time where you have the video in front of you, you're uploading it, and you're like, I just don't know about this title. Is there any other way to word this? It is the perfect tool for you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here and show you kind of how this works. So it is called the AI title generator, and there's a couple different ways we can go about using it. So let's say you have a video, either it's public or it's unlisted. You can actually edit that video and find it right at the top. Get AI title recommendations. Now, as you know, this video was already posted. It already has a title. It has a perfectly serviceable title. I like this title. I'm going to delete it. Now, I'm not going to save the changes I just made because that would mess some things up, but we can now play with the tool a little bit. And then if we find something we like, we can hit save. Ignore the thumbnail. We're just going to play with it with a totally different example. Viper, we're going to put you on the spot. What do you think I should put in here? Any video you want to try and like pretend to make right now? Where should we get started?
Well, you know, Dan, someone asked me on when they asked vidIQ on the social media if we are ever going to make a video about super things. So let's do that.
Super what?
Super things.
Super thanks?
Yes.
Okay. So YouTube super thanks. So this is a feature on YouTube. It's not talked about a whole lot. Hopefully the AI title recommendation system knows what we're getting at here, but let's see. So, okay. 10 benefits to super thanks. Let me zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it. The super thanks that YouTubers give each other. That's kind of funny, but not what we were going for. The best YouTube super thanks. YouTube super thanks using a YouTube video to thank a YouTube guru. That's funny. You should do that, by the way. And then YouTube Super Thanks, how to get them, how to make them work. So that could be an interesting title for like, how do you activate these on your channel? So there's a lot of different ideas here, and maybe it's trying to figure out what we mean by super thanks. But even if it didn't get it exactly right, I know how to take some of these ideas and turn them into a more functional title, which is pretty cool. And if we don't like any of them, we can refresh and see what else. YouTube Super Thanks event. Thanks for watching. It's really confused now. 10 ways you can get 10 times the value. But this is not unreasonable here. YouTube Super Thanks, 10 ways you can get embracing YouTube Super Thanks, but they're just not making that much money. Now you might have some tips that you want to share about getting more out of that feature that's activated on your channel. So there's some awesome ideas in here, and the tool tries to approach the search term from all kinds of different angles to kind of get you thinking. But it's for those moments where you're like, this is what my video is about. How can I make this title more clickable? So someone did say my voice is choppy. Are you hearing that, or do you think that's just on?
No, I think you're fine. You're good on
okay.
my end.
All right. Just checking. Sorry about that. Hopefully your connection stabilizes, or hopefully our connection stabilizes. So let's look at a few more examples here. There is another way you can use this tool. Let's say you don't want to accidentally erase Rob's video title that he did for his very decently performing video, right? Undo changes. Let's just make sure we don't screw that up. You don't want to risk that. And what if you're making a video, you haven't uploaded anything yet? How are you supposed to find this? Well, app.vidiq.com. This is our web app. We don't talk about this a whole lot. We've shown it on this live stream a number of times though, and a lot of the features that you know and love about vidIQ exist in this web app. And AI title recommendations is among the newest. If you're in your channel dashboard, you can just start punching in titles right now. You don't need to be in your video edit page, which is fantastic. So trying to think, I should have written some of these down beforehand. I prepped other things for you, but I didn't think of any titles. I did. Oh, actually, yeah, I did have a couple here. Start a gaming channel. I was playing with this earlier. Okay. We make a lot of videos about how to start a gaming channel. So let's see what our title recommendation system says. How to create a gaming channel, how to start a YouTube gaming channel, how to start a successful YouTube gaming channel. We're using adjectives to describe what we're talking about. For all this tool knows, I'm actually trying to make a video about trying to start a failing channel because I want to be funny. It doesn't matter. I could trade out that adjective for whatever I want. It's a good idea. Start a gaming channel with these 5 tips. I only had 7 tips, or not only, but I had 7 tips. So I'm just going to trade out the 5 for the 7. Now I have a great video title. Get new recommendations. Successful gaming channel on YouTube. So a lot of the similar ones. That's a great start though for trying to think of some titles. I'm going to put this over to you guys while we go to the next thing I want to show you. In the comments right now, not comments, in the chat, using the hashtag title so we can know when you're actually trying to give us a suggestion. Give us some terms you would like us to punch in here just to see. We'll see what happens. This could go very horribly wrong. So, who knows? Hashtag title, and then think of a video on your channel that you would like to make and just ask for, just give us a little term you want us to put in here, and we will play with it. And while you do that, we can go to the next thing I want to show you, which is just some videos around YouTube. I'm going to show you this one before we get back to the title hashtags. And I wanted to show you some examples of really strong title and thumbnail combinations that are working for some various channels right now. Viper, if you'd like to start starring some of those, that would be awesome. I'm already seeing some really interesting titles kind of coming in. So I saw this video. This is from a channel I've watched a couple of times. They like to talk about like stuff going on in the gaming industry, and they seem to get a lot of views when it goes horribly wrong, right? So I saw this thumbnail first. I didn't see the title. From Kickstarter to Court. And I know they're talking about a video game because you can see this is clearly gaming footage in the thumbnail. And then you read the title. $8 million taken, 6 years developed, 0 game delivered, lawsuit filed. Now, this is an example of titles that are not super searchable. And yet the video has over 2 million views. I've zoomed in too far here. Let's see. There it is. Over 2 million views posted on April 1st from a channel with 165,000 subscribers, which is incredible. Incredible success for a channel. And they didn't put the name of the game in the title. They didn't put the name of the game in the thumbnail. They are just focused on the drama behind what happened. And you can see that this is working beautifully for them. Just one example I want to show you. We can talk about this a little bit more, but we do have some suggestions here. Thank you for pulling some of these. So some of you have given us some suggestions that you would like just to punch into title generator. The first one being all superheroes in the same city. I don't know what that means, but let's just try it out. All superheroes in the same city. Okay, get title ideas. All in one superhero city, all the superheroes in the same city. So it kind of broke up the words a little bit, put proper capitalization on them. Comics to shows. Who is the harem king? Don't know what that means. All the superheroes you can meet in the same city. Marvel's biggest hero gathering. The biggest heroes in one city. Now, I don't know your niche. I don't know what you're doing on your channel, but you type in heroes, and the AI knew that Marvel has lots of heroes. Maybe you're making a video about Marvel heroes, and if you are, maybe that's worth mentioning in the title. What do you think? What do you think it's so far, Viper? I've just been talking. I don't mean to not include you.
No, I think it's really cool that we have this AI title generator. I mean, I think one of the hardest things for a creator to do on a video by video basis is to craft a clickable title. It's not easy. It requires a lot of thought. I mean, I know some of us will like go through the whole process of making a video, and then we'll wait until the very last minute, and then we'll slap a title on there that is reasonably okay. And you can do that, but you're not really doing yourself any favors. You're not giving the video the best chance to succeed on YouTube if you don't really sit down and think about how you should properly title a video. Because here's the thing, as we've told you guys before, it's not just about the title, although we're talking about titles today. When you look at everything in its totality, it's about titles and thumbnails. So not only do you have to make a clickable title, you have to make a title that can complement a thumbnail that you want to do. So you really need to be planning them out at the same time. But I know that's not always the thing for creators, but you got it's more about it's about more than just the title. It's about title and thumbnail. So you got to think about all of that.
Yeah, intent, it comes a long way too here, right? Like, who are you intending this video to be for? Who's supposed to click on this video? And you're always putting yourself in the shoes of the viewer. And that's why we say to make your title first if you can, because you have to put yourself in the shoes of a viewer. Before you have a video recorded, you're thinking, well, what would I title this video? And that begs the question, well, what would people search for? What would people be interested in clicking on? So you know how best to answer that based on your niche. So let's look at this one. The best NES games of all time. I like this. Best SNES games of all time. All right. SNES. This will be interesting. That is an acronym. The 10 best SNES games of all time. So listicles are really recommended here by our title generator. The 15 best SNES games we played in 2017. Change that out to whatever year that's relevant in this case, obviously. I've seen 2017 come up a few times in this tool, which is kind of interesting. Maybe in 2017, a lot of listicles came out, and so the AI is pulling from those examples. The top 10 best SNES games of all time. We get more. So we're getting, this is already, I think, a very serviceable title, but it did break out Super Nintendo games a couple of times too. So it knows what it's talking about here. It knows what SNES means. And a listicle is obviously the way to go here if you were thinking about doing a video like this.
Now, that brings up one point of the title generator, Dan. When you are trying to think about how to craft your title, obviously you can go SNES or you can go Super Nintendo. The tool won't let you know which one is better. So you as the creator, you need to figure out which terminology will get more reach.
Well, we have a tool for that.
We do have a tool for that, but it's not this tool. But yeah, that's something that you as the creator need to think about. Will just putting SNES give you the most reach, or will actually typing out Super Nintendo give you more reach?
So let's just look at the score here on the keyword inspector. So I typed in SNES and I hit enter, and we got a 51. So the search volume is here. The competition score is here. This is out of 100. And this is kind of what you're looking at, right? How high is the search volume? Our tool is saying it's pretty high. So it's really easy to type that. But what if we type Super Nintendo into the keyword tool.
Mm.
Lower score. The score went down. So not as many people are using the full-blown term Super Nintendo. If you're worried about it, definitely put it in the description, definitely put it in the tags, fully spelled out Super Nintendo. But according to our tool, you don't need to spell that out in your title, which is good because that means your title can be shorter. Great call out.
Now the competition score went up though.
That is interesting. That is very
That
interesting.
is very interesting.
So less people searching, higher competition means a lower score overall. So it's a win-win to go SNES.
Yep.
You're just talking about the search term alone in a bubble, of course. Play with your title a little bit in the keyword inspector and check out these scores. Check out some of the questions. This is another tool that we've been working on where if you type in the keyword, you actually get questions related to that keyword, which is really cool. But today we are focused more on the title generator, the AI title recommendation system here. So we have another one. GTA 5 car meet goes horribly wrong. Sounds like you have a very specific video that you've done here, but we'll see. This already sounds like a good title to me. Meet goes horribly wrong. I'm not going to put the emoji. The worst car meet ever in GTA 5. You could add at the end of that. The worst car meet ever in GTA 5.
Oh,
nice
before you go on, I want to jump on that real quick.
Yeah.
Just because the AI generates a particular title doesn't mean you can't tweak it.
Correct.
So you see what Dan just did? The worst car meet ever in GTA 5. So if you are talking about a specific place or thing, you can add that to the title that the AI generates. Don't feel like these are the end all be all.
Yep. I would also look at some of these other ones. The GTA 5 car meet goes horribly wrong. I would say this instead. So again, don't be afraid to tweak these. The pitiful end to the GTA 5 car meet. I like that. I just want to watch that. Wow. GTA 5 car meet goes horribly wrong. The worst car meet of all time. My question for you, and covering GTA 5, you would know this better than me, but is car meet a term that people in GTA 5 are using? And again, over to the keyword inspector, GTA 5 car meet. Interesting. Wow. Pretty decent search volume there. Not a ton of competition. Decent score. I didn't know that. So what if I did GTA meetup? Because that's what it sounds like it is. Not as good. Not as good. GTA RP car meet. RP for roleplay, even lower. Okay, cool. So don't hire me to run your Grand Theft Auto channel is what we've just learned. But cool. So car meet, a searchable term, and the recommendations for that were very, very interesting. Even though you already had, I would say, a pretty good title.
Yeah,
all right.
Titles are very interesting because I know sometimes I have seen different headlines and titles on publications and websites and papers, and I'm like, did they really have to go all that sensational? And that's really what's going on. They're making their titles very sensational, which is just like basically meaning that their titles are over the top. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, the objective is to get people to click or read or whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do. So while we might think the titles are really sensationalized, if they get us to do the thing that the people that wrote the article want us to do, then that's what it is.
Yep. Absolutely. So this next one here, we only have two more, and then we'll go on to the next segment here. But best farm in Elden Ring. So let's get title ideas for this. I did see some Elden Ring videos trending just today. Best farm in Elden Ring Ultimate Guide. The best farm in Elder Scrolls. It's a little confused.
Dan, you forgot a word.
The best farm in?
No. Rune farm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Best rune farm. It's because #best. I thought that was #title. So I got rid of one word, and in my brain, everything shifted around. Thank you. Okay, cool. Best runes for farming in Elder Scrolls Online. It's still confused by Elden. Best rune farming Elden Ring on the market. How to get the best rune farm in WoW Elden Ring. It's the MMOs are just confusing the heck out of it right now. 5 places to farm the Elden Ring. The 5 best rune farming methods, I would say. Oh, I'm mixed. See, I guess I'm dyslexic. Did you see that? I took the 5 from here and put it in here.
I think our AI is confused as you are at this point.
Yes. Let's try again. The Elden Ring for beginners rune farming.
There we go.
How to get your first rune. How to get your first rune in Elden Ring could be one, or Elden Ring rune farming for beginners could be one. So there's two different just ideas in this title. How to farm the best runes in Elder Scrolls Online. Let Elden Ring continue to build in popularity, and our AI will catch up. It is obviously an AI. It is still learning, but this is really interesting. Best rune farm in Elder Scrolls. So if Elder Scrolls has runes, by the way, all of you Elder Scrolls Online players just got a whole bunch of title ideas too. All right, one more. Legoland, Florida.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one.
Yeah, me too. Legoland, Florida, more than just a tourist attraction. Look at that. I didn't put in tourist attraction. I didn't say anything. It's smart enough to know Legoland, Florida is a touristy place.
Oh, I like that one. The ultimate Disneyland for your kids. That is brilliant.
That is awesome. The 10 Legoland attractions in Florida, Legoland, Florida, the first theme park in the US. Is that true? That's not true.
I don't think so. I think the AI been yeah. The AI need to fall back on that.
That's a bold claim.
That's a bold claim.
Escape to Legoland, Florida. I like that. Legoland, Florida, the most magical place on Earth.
Wow, now they're feeling Disney troll.
Punching up a little bit. Punching up in the weight class a little bit, but I like it still. That's, you know what? I can see the thumbnail for that video. It's you right in front of Legoland, Florida, maybe at the entrance, and on the side you have the Disney logo with a slash through it, or like a red X. I'm telling you, you start to imagine what these videos could be. I don't make videos like this, but I'm already excited at the ideas coming through here. The Floridians and Legoland have their say. That sounds like some drama right there. Legoland, Florida, where Harry Potter and Frozen meet. If there's an attraction for Harry Potter and Frozen in Legoland, then interesting. But you could, again, if there's not, you can take these two IP. What are some IP in Legoland, Florida that are represented that you can put side by side like this in this format?
Oh, the best Legoland in the world. I think one too.
Yeah. These are awesome. And you can just keep generating more and more. If you have our boost plan, you can keep generating all the ones you want. So please do check this out. And we're going to continue talking about titles, and we'll take your questions here in a little while as well. But thank you for these suggestions. These came up with some very, very interesting title ideas, and hopefully you can see the potential of this tool, exactly what it does, how it works. You'll notice, unlike daily ideas, there's nothing here saying that this title is going to rank in some kind of performance metric. Daily ideas, we have these view predictions, right? What I was showing on the Think Media live stream earlier this week is that a good thing to do would be to take a good idea you have in your daily ideas and bring it over into title recommendations, because a lot of the daily ideas are less about titles and more about just getting you thinking about the types of videos you should be making. So I wouldn't necessarily rip one of these as a title, but I would put it in the title generator and then see how you can better say what daily ideas is giving you. So you find an idea that has high view prediction, and then you find a title that is clickable and has some emotional elements to it or searchable elements to it. So those two tools go side by side, and they work really, really well together. So I was talking about this video a little while ago, Viper. It really caught my eye. And I have a few examples to show everybody. Okay. There's different ways you can make the title and the thumbnail of your videos play together, right? Like some examples would be if you write a title and your thumbnail supports what the title is saying by kind of mimicking it, so an image version of your title. Or there's this way you can do it, where these two things together tell a story. From Kickstarter to court, $8 million taken, 6 years developed, 0 game delivered, lawsuit filed. This just started a huge story. Basically, I bet you this creator had a script. They had their intro, and they just took the first line of their intro and split it between the title and the thumbnail, because that's exactly what it sounds like here. So really big, high performance video, 2 million plus views. There's one from Vox. Vox is really good. They're a major channel with over 10 million subscribers. But if you're looking for title and thumbnail inspiration, I would highly recommend this channel. What a conductor actually does on stage. Notice how they didn't capitalize things properly. Isn't that weird? Even big companies are doing this now, mostly lowercase titles.
Apparently, this is the thing on YouTube now, though. We're using all lowercase, which I find very interesting.
I hate doing it. I've been doing it begrudgingly, but I don't like it because it looks so funky to me.
How
But
long
it's
have you been doing it?
a couple months, I'd say.
Have you seen any difference in your reviews and whatnot?
You know what I found is I don't. It's hard to discern if there's been a difference, but I can tell you that it's a lot easier to emphasize words because you can. What I used to do is capitalize the first letter of almost every word, like you would a book. You know, like the letter A would be lowercase, obviously, things like that.
Right.
But I would all caps a word in there sometimes for more emphasis, more punch. But it doesn't stand out as much when all the other words have a capital letter in them. But once everything else is lowercase, what a conductor actually does, you could all caps the word actually here, and that would be, I think, just as impactful or more impactful.
That's actually brilliant. My only question is like, if this, let's say the sentence or the title began with the word I, or instead of what, do we capitalize the I or do we leave the I lowercase?
I think you capitalize the I. I think lowercase i's in most cases would look kind of like lazy, personally.
Okay.
That's a good question, though. I've seen a lot of lowercase titles. I've not seen people lowercase the letter I, but because usually those titles start with the letter I. So when you start a sentence, you capitalize the first letter. And so that just makes sense. And then it's like, I made a thing, you know, and I think that's a lowercase I would just look so
Out of place. Yeah.
But I'm saying that as someone who doesn't even like this format. So, I mean, do whatever works in your niche. Definitely pay attention to how people are titling their videos.
This is why we always tell you all to experiment.
Yes. So what I loved about this video is what a conductor actually does on stage. I've wondered this. I don't necessarily, I'm not a conductor. I'm not into music. I've just always wondered. They're waving their arms around. They're obviously signaling, but it looks chaotic. What a conductor actually does on stage. So they're going to explain this in 4 minutes. And the thumbnail's brilliant. Just brilliant. You have the conductor. I can actually make this bigger. And they just took images throughout the video and, like, you know, gave them that kind of see-through look to make it seem like they're frantically waving their arm. So this thumbnail has motion to it, which is just genius. And no words other than their logo. And then it supports the title, What a Conductor Actually Does on Stage.
I wonder if YouTube will ever allow for GIF thumbnails.
Oh, no.
Dan's like, please, no, don't do that.
Goodness, no. They're doing autoplay a lot more now, and I think that's the replacement. But if I had to make a GIF every time I made a video, I couldn't hack it. That'd be the moment that they put me out to pasture, I think. I couldn't do it. Could not keep up with that trend. But it does. This thumbnail does feel like it has motion. I wanted to show this one because I just thought it was such a cool idea.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The last one I pulled here was about scale. We see Mr. Beast and other creators do this all the time. The brilliant evolution of inflatable buildings. Now, you've probably seen inflatable buildings like this before, especially around stadiums, like sporting facilities use these a lot.
No way.
Yeah, you've never seen this?
No. Are you trying to tell me that inflatable building is that actual thing in the thumbnail? Is that what we're saying here?
Oh, yes. I hadn't gotten to that yet, but yes. I want to watch the video and figure out how they get to here, because this looks like it's made out of metal and stuff. So how is this an inflatable building?
That is wild.
Exactly, though, right? Like, you have the impressive scale of, like, what I assume is one of the first inflatable buildings. Inventor, you know, like this really tiny person on this massive structure. And then this is like where it started, and this is where it is today. Your mind is already blown in the thumbnail. You don't know the title yet. Your mind is blown by the thumbnail. You look at the title, and sure enough, the brilliant evolution, again, using adjectives, descriptive words to draw an emotion, the brilliant evolution of inflatable buildings.
I don't know you, Stuart, but I want to watch this video.
Yeah, channel with 200,000 subscribers. And I know there's probably going to be some people out there who see that and they're like, well, yeah, they have 200,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? But this is how they got there. They worked on this. They practiced this. Title and thumbnail evolution is everything. It's key. As you grow, you'll get better at this. And, you know, I'm telling you, you can get way more views if you master this art of, like, intrigue.
Yeah. Can we have a quick aside though? You just made an interesting comment there about the subscriber count that you just said. Well, some people say you have 200,000 subscribers. I cannot tell you all how much subscriber count does not play into how good a creator is or isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw on YouTube a creator within a span of 3 weeks go from around 3,000 subscribers to 128,000 as of today. And I'm not going to get into how he got there and whatnot, but the subscriber number is not as important as people make it out to be. There are top tier creators that have less than 1,000 subscribers out there doing big things. Obviously, you have top tier creators out there that have over 100,000 subscribers, but it's just a number, you all.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't define you. You are not your vanity metric. So don't let the subscriber count define what you think about a creator on YouTube, because you're looking at the wrong thing.
I know a creator. This is more of a tragic story. I know a creator who, YouTube tragic, not tragic, but they have over 1 million subscribers. They've been doing this a very long time, and today they're getting less than 10,000 views on any given video. And it really has nothing to do with their subscriber count and everything to do with just how the niche around them has evolved. And to be perfectly frank, they haven't really kept up. And I think I've even talked to them about this before. It was a long time ago though, so I don't have any details here, but I remember them saying like they kind of noticed things were changing, but were like, I have other stuff going on. Like I'm having fun doing this the way I'm doing it. So I'm just going to kind of leave well enough alone. So it was kind of this realization of like, yeah, I'm not going to continue to evolve, but that's okay, you know, because they had their kind of core community and they were good. But you can absolutely get to a point on YouTube where you get tons of views, you have tons of success, and you don't keep up, you don't follow trends. A lot can change in a short span of time in you know, the creator industry. And if you don't keep up, you know, you can easily be a 1 million subscriber channel that struggles to get a few thousand views.
Sounds like some tech companies I know of.
So we want to take your questions now. Already some folks are in on the secret. The way this works every week is that we ask you to put #question in front of your questions so we can pick them out from the crowd. And if you ask your question, we will save it in the background as long as it's one we can answer. And by that, I mean, try not to ask questions that are super vague. Sometimes people ask, how do I get more views? And that's what this whole channel is about. So all we can do, if that's your question, is to refer you to check out our video page, check out all the videos we have on growing a channel in all different ways. Videos about how to get 4,000 hours of watch time, videos about how to get your first 1,000, 1,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, all of the above. So definitely check out some of those videos if you are struggling to think of a question beyond just how do I get better at this. So keep your questions specific. We'll be grabbing them.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Can I ask the first question?
You may ask the first question.
All right. So for a particular, let's say you're doing like a particular video, a review video about our product or service or whatever. Obviously, in the video title somewhere, you want to let people know that you're reviewing such and such product or service, blah, 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 blah. So in theory, the title will be pretty straightforward. But anybody and their mama, Dan, can put iPhone 13 review in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my question to you is, how do you spruce up that type of a video title where it really is straightforward, but if you go directly straightforward, you're not really setting yourself apart from the rest of the pack?
So what's the title you're starting with?
Let's just throw out iPhone 13 review.
iPhone 13 review. So we have a similar question that I picked already that's kind of like this, iPhone 13 review. So I'm actually going to use the title recommendation system for this because I'd be asking myself this question too. And here you go. Is it worth the price? That's already a fantastic way to frame this. You're not just saying you're going to review it. You have review in the title. You're reviewing it. But what's the point of it? It's you're telling your viewers, is this worth the price? Right? And so now it's specific. Now it's really, really specific. Is the iPhone 13 worth the price? I'm going to review it. Right? iPhone X review, the one iPhone to rule them all. iPhone 13 review, a new phone, and the new iPhone 8 is here. That's confusing. iPhone 13 review, a powerful, versatile phone. Apple iPhone 13 review, 5 reasons to upgrade. So a listicle about upgrading. So these things can take your, okay, this is what my video is. but how do I make it a little bit better? 5 reasons to upgrade. So I'm letting the tool answer that question.
Fair enough.
We do have some awesome questions here already. Thank you so much. We will try and get to as many of these as we can over the next probably hour and a half or so. I am almost 4,000 watch hours. You've almost hit 4,000 watch hours, which is the requirement for getting into the partner program. Congrats. I'm worried that I will drop below 4,000 as I'm struggling to upload due to school exams. If I hit 4,000, then drop below, can I still monetize? The way that works is it's in a 1-year window, a 12-month window. So you need 4,000 hours of watch time within a 12-month window. Unfortunately, if you're worried you're going to miss that window, it's not just going to make you start back at 0. It's just the window is moving with you, if that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying, Viper? Like,
yes.
So your video that becomes 12 months and 1 day old, the watch time on that falls off. So that is no longer included in your 4,000 hours. So you lose progress, but it doesn't mean the clock starts all over and you go back to 0 hours towards your goal. To try and kick this in the pants, it will take making some extra content if you want to just really get there. Once you're there, you're there. Once you're in the partner program, you're in. You don't have to maintain that. So try and so you got exams. Is there anything else going on in life that you can put on pause for just a little bit, just enough to get 1 or 2 extra videos done? That's a huge ask for some people. So if the answer is no, just do your very best. But that would be my advice.
Also, if you all want to know how to gain watch hours quickly, you can live stream, but I will be very careful with how you do that, because do it if it makes sense in the context of what you're doing already on your channel. Don't just live stream to gain hours, then you don't live stream anymore, because that's not fair to your viewers. But if live streaming makes sense in the context of what you're already doing, then yeah, that's a very quick way to gain watch hours.
Absolutely. So best of luck. I noticed that after 1 day of not uploading a short, the next day my impressions dropped by 400. So should I upload shorts daily? What do you think?
You know what? Here's the thing. We creators tend to look at analytics a lot, almost too much, to a fault. And we let the analytics dictate what we do. And to an extent, that's necessary, but there's a such thing as doing it too much. You're letting the analytics run your life too much. If you can upload shorts daily where it doesn't ruin things that you need to get done in your actual physical life, then by all means do that. But if it's going to give you less time to do other things, other non-YouTube related things, I wouldn't try to fit that into my lifestyle. If it does not fit into your lifestyle currently, I would not try to fit it in. At that point, just figuring out how to make better shorts and better content, so you don't have to work harder. Just basically working smarter, not harder. But I would tell you all, don't let the analytics dictate your life, because that's how a lot of creators get to burnout.
It's true. I was going to say, because shorts is about velocity. Like, the more you upload, the more shots you have at the target. And since they're short, it's easy to post a lot of them. But you're absolutely right. And then you did mention work smarter, not harder. If you were to make a short that was even better than your current standard, it wouldn't drop in impressions after hitting its initial spike, right? Shorts, they kind of just spike really quickly and then they go away again. That wouldn't happen to you to the point where your short dies a horrible death if it's that good. I've had shorts get to a point where they have I've called it a permanent home on the short shelf, whereby they just continue to get views indefinitely because they are just at a certain standard. And I've had ones that drop off after their initial showing on the short shelf. They'll get 1,000 views, 10,000 views, something crazy, right? And then they will disappear because YouTube takes those initial views, it learns everything it can about them and goes, based on what I'm seeing, this isn't super shareable, and it stops sharing it. But if your short is super shareable, now you're talking about having impressions for that one short, bringing impressions to your channel indefinitely. So maybe upload less and take some time to improve the quality of your shorts. However, whatever that means for you, and that can help it so you don't have to upload daily. But if I were to tell you right now, upload daily, absolutely. That's time you could be spending improving at your craft. There's only so much time in a day.
Yeah. All right, before we go to the next question, just a quick aside. Earlier in the slide stream, I mentioned super thanks. And I mentioned super thanks because YouTube has now made it available to everybody in the partner program. So if your channel is monetized, you have the option now to enable super thanks. And for those of y'all who are not familiar with what that is, think super chat for regular video.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So you now have the ability, or people now have the ability to give you tips on your regular non-live stream YouTube videos. So do with that information what you will.
Yeah, I was trying to see if any of the videos we pulled up earlier have that enabled, and it does not look like they do. You do, I think, need to enable this feature.
Yeah, you need to go into your Creator Studio settings and enable it. Correct.
So I can pull that up real quick. Here, close that. Monetization, supers. You're eligible for super thanks. Turn it on and add a new revenue stream to your uploads. And this is where all the toggles are right here. Super chat, super stickers, super thanks. I know my cursor keeps cutting out, but you can kind of see it on the right side there. So all you gotta do is toggle super thanks on, and under your videos will be a new icon where people can say thanks and give you money, which is great.
Don't get it twisted though. YouTube still take the cut.
YouTube will take a cut, of course. Of course. All right. So we have those questions answered. We have one here. When you're doing a review of a book / manga and it has a boring or generic title, should you use that in the video title or just the descriptions?
That's a very good question.
It is. It would make your title long, I imagine, right? Like, even if you were to say your part of the title, the part that's emotional and interesting, and then for searchability, you put the title of the comic, the book, whatever it is, at the end, that would work. But it would make your title look kind of long.
Yeah, I think in this case, you are probably okay leaving the title of the book out of the actual title of the video. But I would suggest obviously putting that title of the book in the description, make sure it's in the tags, different things like that.
Yeah. You saw earlier the video we were showing. It's one of the reasons I brought this up. There's a lot of reasons I brought this up. I didn't get to all of them, but that is one of the reasons. I don't know what game this person is talking about. I see the thumbnail. I do not know what game this person is talking about, and the title doesn't tell me that either. And we're getting 2 million views. So it's like, you can play around with this. You can play around with this formula. Try it. I would say if let's say you do a boring, you're covering a book that does have a boring or generic title for like a few videos. Try a couple of them with the title of the a story at the very end, and try a couple without it at all. And then you still have the imagery from it, so in the thumbnail. So like, see how it does.
The other thing is, as I told you all before, the YouTube algorithm is scarily good at discerning the actual content of your video.
Yep.
And when I say actual content, I mean everything, even everything in my background right now. It can analyze and figure out what is going on. It's that good. So while I always talk about making sure you give the algorithm as much information as possible as it relates to your titles and descriptions and different things like that, there is some leeway there, like we just highlighted. If you have like a book that with a boring title and you don't want to put that title in the actual title of the video, you don't have to. Just make the title enticing enough to somebody to click on it. But the algorithm will figure it out. If you're mentioning the book title in the video and talking about it and different things like that, the YouTube algorithm will pick up on it and put that video where it needs to be.
100%. Best of luck. I'm using vidIQ title recommendations, and my videos are getting more views, but a lower click-through rate. Is that good?
Thumbnails.
That is good, actually. Thumbnails, yes. But if you're getting more views, that means your video is getting more exposure.
Impressions, yeah.
And more impressions. So your click-through rate is going to go down, and that's a good thing. Like, you want it to be as high as possible all the time, but naturally, as more and more people are exposed to your content, that's just going to, continue to change those metrics. It's kind of a moving target.
Yeah, I think a lot of creators don't understand that, and I'm glad you highlighted that. But if your click rate, if your TTR lowers, like Dan said, that's actually good, because as YouTube shows it to more and more audiences, it's going to go down, because at some point they're going to reach an audience that's not really jobbing the content. but YouTube has to experiment with that to see if that audience does indeed not jive with the content.
Yeah.
But you want your content to get to the point where YouTube runs out of road. If YouTube is just staying on the same road, then your click-through, your CTR is going to stay where it is, and then you might not get the view. But if YouTube is putting your video out there so much that eventually they run out of road, your video probably has a lot of views. So it's good.
So this is a video that went out on our Spanish channel about 4 days ago, and it's an 8 out of 10. And this video, I don't know how it started, but 8 out of 10 is what it is at right now, meaning that when it was first posted, it could have been a 1 out of 10. And then kind of slowly, it didn't get the views that would keep it at a 1 out of 10, for example, because these are all constantly moving metrics. So after 3 days and 22 hours, it's at a 4.1% click-through rate. But, you know, so that represents a lower click-through rate than normal. That was not where we want it. However, we still have our typical amount of views. We're at the lower end of that. The average view duration, we're at the lower end of that. So let's go with the analytics and just see what the click-through rate was doing at first. Here's the impressions. It got 179,000 impressions. And you'll see this often, where the click-through rate actually starts out really high, because this is going to people who have subscribed to your channel, who've watched your channel. They're likely to click on what you do because they are already fans of you. And then as YouTube's like, hey, the regulars liked it, let's try it in front of some new people, things tend to go down a little bit. And that happens, and that's totally normal and totally fine. So, you know, I would say it's a good thing. If you're getting more views than you were before, I see that as a very big positive. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think that's awesome.
Definitely.
I'm almost at 4,000 watch hours. However, I think is what they meant. I'm worried that I will drop below 4,000 hours. Oh wait, we already got this one.
Yeah, we got one.
Sorry,
question.
Like, this sounds familiar. Okay. So should we make our subscriber count public or private? All right, this one's for you. They singled you out.
I do not like it personally as a viewer, as a not Viper the vidIQ employee, not Viper the creator. Viper the viewer does not like. I have never liked when I go to a channel and I don't see the subscriber count. It just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't like it. Viper the creator says that I would never hide my subscriber count because that's kind of a journey that you can take the community on with you as you grow. Because as that number grows, the community feels like they're contributing to that. And I, the creator, don't want to take that feeling away from the community that they're actually helping, contributing to the growth of the channel. So I will always have my subscriber count visible because in my eyes, it's a community bonding thing. Again, Viper the viewer, I kind of be like, where's the number at? When I see that, I'm like, what is going on? But that's just how I feel about it. But obviously, my opinion is my opinion, and yours might differ.
I think everybody on our team kind of feels the same way about this. Like, we all have gone around and said that exact same thing. Like, what are you hiding? Why hide it? You know, it's weird. Does it hurt anything? Probably not. I mean, certainly not the recommendation system or anything like that, but it might hurt, like you said, it might hurt the community bond, right? Because people don't know where you're at in your YouTube journey, which means they don't know where they're at in your YouTube journey, if that makes sense. Some people become fans of you and they want to know, I was here when you were below 25,000 subscribers. You know, they really do appreciate knowing that. I know before I was a creator and I was just becoming fans of all these YouTube creators, one in particular I followed. I literally was following them before they hit 25,000 subscribers, and they eventually hit 1 million. And even though they never knew that I was there the whole time, I knew I was. And I was like, this is so cool to kind of watch this person evolve. And I know I can see how far they've come compared to where I subscribed at. And that's so cool. So it does take something away from your community. But in terms of like, oh, are my videos not going to get recommended because I'm hiding this? No, that I don't believe that would ever be a thing.
Nope.
Cool. Let's take a look for some more questions here. So many good ones. Let's see.
All right, let me just tackle this one real quick. Dan, actually, this one's probably one more for you than me. My niche requires my title to be about the same every time. How do I change it up? I'm going to assume that your niche is Minecraft, but I've seen hundreds of Minecraft, at this point, I've seen hundreds of Minecraft channels and things that change up the title easily. But Dan, jump in there.
Now I'm kind of like in the background pulling up this channel because I'm like, what? Minecraft arenas. We're not doing channel audits, and I spelled it really wrong. Minecraft So your channel name does not pull up in search. There it is. Okay, never mind. So their niche is you're doing shorts that have nothing to do with your Minecraft niche, first of all. So I'm just going to throw that out there. You probably should put those on another channel. But that aside, Minecraft WD SmackDown, Thunderdome Arena, and then there's a couple other terms in there. So it looks like you're recreating these WrestleMania arenas and stuff like that. I think it's just about getting creative. You need to take the thing you're doing. You're really good at making these arenas, right? I would be recreating more than just one arena over and over again. I'd be creating, like, look at detailed pictures of all kinds of arenas for all kinds of sports. And you can make each video, I recreated the blank arena in Minecraft. I recreated the blank arena in Minecraft. So every single time it's a different arena name, and that's how you change up the title every time. And again, you tried this titling structure for a number of videos and it yielded the same results over and over. So that's how you know the titling structure you have now also isn't working. So keep playing with the different titles as well. So if I recreated the blank arena in Minecraft isn't working, then keep adjusting it, keep trying different things. So that would be my advice in that regard. But I was curious. I wanted to see it because I can definitely, there are like certain things that people are really good at that are very specific. Like you could be really good at Bed Wars in Minecraft. And so if you want to make a whole channel about that, you have to get really creative about how you frame those videos in terms of title and thumbnail. So it's all about just going into the details. Like what was it about this Bed Wars match that was so interesting? Right, so this arena has the most complicated concession stand ever. You know what I mean? So just pick out something in that arena that's of interest. Sorry.
No, I was saying I'm throwing questions, so feel free to pull them up.
In the last 2 weeks, the number of views on my channel has dropped almost 90%. Could that be because what could cause such a big drop? Without looking at your channel, it's really hard to say. Some general reasons this happens, though. Sometimes it's because you pivot your channel. Pay close attention to what you were doing before that was doing well and what you're doing now. And did you change something? Are your thumbnails dramatically different? Are your titles way different? But more importantly, is the subject different? Is it appealing to a different audience now, what the video you're making now? That's usually what we see. It's usually something you changed that doesn't resonate with your current viewership. Or the interest in your topic is at the end of the road. It's starting to fizzle out, and it's time to do some research and see how can you, like, where did those people go? What are they into now? Like what, like kind of retargeting, your overall content strategy. Oftentimes, that's not the case because people pick niches and they kind of know like this has some staying power. You wouldn't want to, like, a great example in gaming would be if you started a channel around Cyberpunk. Like, Cyberpunk is a game where you play it, so you start the game and eventually you beat the game. It's not like an MMO. It's not supposed to be like a software as a service kind of deal. Eventually, people who are interested in this game will no longer be interested. So can you start a whole channel around Cyberpunk? Not one that can run for a really long time. Eventually, it'll kind of hit its a point where it's just not there anymore. So again, without looking at the channel, really hard to say, but you feels like you probably changed something that turned some people off. How can you make search-based titles which include lots of keywords?
First thing I would tell you is you don't necessarily want to keyword stuff your titles. That's a bad idea because then they look robotic and people are not going to click on it. So you still want to make your titles in such a way that they appeal to actual human beings. That doesn't mean you can't use keywords, because you definitely can and should, but just be careful how you do that, because you still want to make your titles in such a way that human beings can easily read, understand, and be willing to click on them.
One thing, whatever your video's about, title, thumbnail, one thing. Don't stuff it with tons of keywords. Make it about one specific problem that your video solves. And if that video goes into details about other related problems, that's totally fine. What's the sauce? What's the nicest, the most helpful thing that your video addresses, right? Make that the focus of your title and thumbnail, because if you keyword stuff your title with all kinds of different search terms, it's confusing to everybody. It's confusing to the viewers who find it. It's confusing to the YouTube algorithm. Who is this for? Why is it here? No, one thing, less is more. If I premiere a video, will it get less views?
This, I believe this was a thing maybe a year or so ago, but I don't think it's a thing anymore. I think it's gonna get the views that it's gonna get.
Yeah. A lot of people are recommending Premiere now because they're treated like live streams. And when you follow a channel and they have a live stream that's scheduled, it appears on the homepage leading up to it. And the same is true with premieres. So you get real estate on the homepage, and you get like 2 shots at the homepage, because first it's your video sitting there. Hey, this is starting in like 30 minutes, just so you know. Then it goes live. And so then a red thing comes on and says premiering now. So you get to be in the home feed for that amount of time. So that's 2. You actually get 3, because then when your video is done premiering, it becomes a normal video. Then it has the normal YouTube like process where it goes on the homepage for a while. YouTube's testing out in front of people, so on and so forth. So premieres should actually be better. But if you do a premiere, just be sure to be there.
Yes. Please be there.
Show up to your premiere, be in the chat, interact with people. Don't just premiere videos and walk away. When you're a gaming channel, but you cannot focus on just one game, but have a variety on your channel, what approach do you take? Oh boy.
I'm gonna let Dan handle this, but what I'll say is I think about it in terms of seasonal content. Like, you know, at the beginning of the year, you have maybe your what's the big season? The beginning of the year. Let's go to spring. Let's say spring content, whatever that means to you as creator. Spring content. Then you got your summer content, you got your fall content, and then your winter content, and so on and so forth. So that's how I would treat it. If you're trying to do multiple games, figure out what the season is for a particular game, and then post the content there and try to take advantage of it. But Dan can answer this better than I can.
It's an interesting analogy, because it won't necessarily be structured with our normal seasons like summer and stuff, but the game itself will have seasonality in that sometimes you play games that get a lot of updates. And so when update season arrives for one of your games, then you go back to it, you know? So that is one approach. I used to do variety gaming. I have a friend that's still playing around with variety gaming, and they're having some, you know, varying degrees of success. My approach would be this. I would always play the same type of game, right? At the very least, that's what you got to do. You're trying to attract returning viewers, right? With any channel, everyone's like, how do you grow? Well, you grow by keeping people, right? Like, if you cater only to new viewers and no one sticks around, that's not growth. That's scattershot. You're just constantly getting new people in who check out one or two of your videos. They don't subscribe. They leave. They never watch again. Like, you want to build this. You want it to snowball. And to do that, you need to retain people. So if you're going to do variety, you have to keep it very, very similar. So if you enjoy survival games like Minecraft, play survival games. Be the survival game person. Be the go-to person for that. The next thing I would do is whenever you're going to introduce a new game, you kind of should create like a template for what you're going to do. So let's say you're starting this new game that just came out. The first video you make is a should you buy or a review or something like that. The next video you make is maybe that's where you kind of do a let's play or a live stream or something like that, where you're kind of playing through the game. Definitely don't just call it let's play, make it interesting, but that's something else you can do. And then it kind of starts from there. And there's other searchable videos you can do too, like should you buy, or I don't know, without a game in front of me, I couldn't think of stuff on the spot, but try to think of just some videos that you could make about any game that you normally play, and make sure you run through all of those to build up the search. And then whatever you're going to do with it, stream it, whatever, do that. I would also stick to that game for a while, make your channel only about that game for the time that you're playing it. And then be ready, because once you pivot, you will lose people. I don't care if you're playing Minecraft and moving on to Minecraft 2. There are going to be people who are like, I like old Minecraft, and they won't go play Minecraft 2. That's what they sound like. I don't know why anyone wouldn't play Minecraft 2. So that's what they sound like to me. They will stay there. They will not move with you. Like, there will always be attrition. You'll always lose some folks, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. And over time, your channel will grow. More people will come to like you. This is a way you can do that. You can do this. I always say don't, because people come to us wanting to know how do you grow on YouTube and how do you do it quickly. And I think that this path is the hardest one to take in gaming. The variety gaming path is very, very difficult. It's the steepest uphill climb, but I do think it can be climbed. I've seen people do it.
I want to talk about something real quick that Dan just alluded to, and that is because I saw, I think before we went live, I saw you all chatting about when you upload, you lose subscribers. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but every time you upload a video, there's almost a 100% chance you're going to lose at least one subscriber. That's just normal YouTube. That's not really, that have very little to do with you as a creator. It's just the process of people coming and going on your channel. I wouldn't think too much of it. As long as your sub count is steadily going up, that's what matters. It doesn't matter if you're losing the stuff when you upload, because that's just the natural ebb and flow of YouTube. So,
absolutely. I was just taking a couple more questions. You guys are asking some awesome questions today. Thank you so much. We have a whole bunch here. You pulled this one up. Why do some video games get more views than others?
So some videos get more views than others. I mean, we can. That's a whole bunch that goes into
I said video games. I don't know why I did
that. It could be title, timing, thumbnail, subject matter. I mean, it just really depends, man. So right now in tech, we are in a lull. There's no big thing going on in tech right now, but in June, Apple is having their worldwide developers conference. So Apple content probably will be the best course of action right now if you're in the tech space, because we are leading up to WWDC. So if you did a non-Apple video right now, it might not have as much interest as an Apple video would, because right now we are moving into Apple season in tech. So it really comes down to just the timing. I think Roberto talks about this a lot as far as timing of your videos and timing of the content, topic, timing, thumbnail. Any one of those factors can play into why video gets the views that it gets, really.
There you go. Can you monetize shorts with video editor watermarks, which is when you haven't purchased your video editor and it puts a watermark on your video?
Now, I know that they were really cracking down on people uploading shorts from other platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Like, if you have those watermarks on there, they know you can't monetize those. YouTube will be like, no, fam, stop playing. But I don't know if that affects the actual editing software watermark, Dan. I don't think, I'm going to say it doesn't matter, but I'm not sure.
First of all, just to be clear, you can't monetize shorts the way you can normal YouTube content, but there is the shorts fund. Mm-hmm. So your shorts can get monetized that way. And with that out of the way, it's really about the viewer experience. So if you have a watermark, how disruptive is that watermark to the content itself? So if that watermark really stands out, if it's in the way of something, if people just can't look away from it, then it will impact getting that shorts bonus at the end of the month, because people have been swiping away when they see the watermark because it's in the way. But if it's really small and subtle, then I wouldn't worry about it. But I would say your first investment should be paying for your video editing software. Just get it out of the way. Just pay for it and be done with it. And you don't have to ever worry about this again. And your viewers have the best possible experience. So yeah, that would be my first investment as I was growing my channel.
I know some people don't like to hear this, but it's one of the truest things that I've heard in my life. You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger, baby. Don't shoot the messenger.
It's true. Is uploading every other day okay?
Okay, I pulled this up because I kind of alluded to this earlier, but there is no right or wrong answer to this particular question, because it largely depends on you as the individual. Mm-hmm. We all have different things going on in our lives. Some of us have family, jobs, different things like that. Some of us have school and other obligations. So it really depends on what's going on in your life, not your friend's life, not your parents' life, not your grandmama's life. What's happening in your life? Do you have enough time in your life to upload every other day? If you do, have at it. But if you feel like that's too much on you and you need to dial it back, then you need to come to that realization as an individual that I need to dial it back. So it really just depends on what you, the individual, can take on. The other thing is that when you do make the decision on how often you want to upload, make sure you can keep that cadence consistently. because now you're talking about growing an audience, and that audience is going to expect you to be there when they expect you to be there. So if you train your audience to expect the video every other day, you better be sure you deliver every other day, because if you don't, you're not being fair to your audience. So really, it depends on what you as an individual can put out. And then once you figure that out, make sure you maintain that consistency for your audience.
Yep. Sorry, I want to add to that. Because absolutely. Also, on my own personal channel, I'm currently uploading on some of the days this week 2 times in a day. One of the videos being regular and one of the videos being short, meaning a YouTube short. So there are no rules per se. I do think you can post too many videos in a day, but that said, we've seen gaming channels especially that post 5, 6, 7, 8 normal videos. Like, I'm not talking about YouTube shorts, I'm talking about widescreen videos in one day. And they happen to be short videos, but they've seen like a lot of success, and it's part of a strategy. So there's no, if you're worried about being punished or anything for doing that, if you're worried every other day is too much or not enough, it's not like that. There's creators like Mark Rober, for example, that upload once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're at a whole different level, but that is a way they run their channel, you know, and their videos, when they do post their monthly video, they get returning viewers and they get new viewers just like any other video. So it really is up to you. But don't be afraid to post. If every other day is your bar for posting too much or too little, don't be afraid in either case. Do what works best for you. And yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about it.
I will never forget the video that you and Rob did about the Minecraft dude who posted like 12,000 videos a day. That just blew my mind, man.
It wasn't 12,000, but it was a lot.
It was a lot.
I mean, they were posting like at one point, I think like 10 or something.
Holy Lord.
It was, yeah. And we noticed they were slowing down a little bit, but it was a fantastic start to their channel.
It was a marathon. Woo.
Can anyone under 18 person monetize a YouTube channel, since you can be 13 to create a channel? I think yes. Well, sorry, you were gonna.
Yeah, I brought this up because I wasn't sure if I want to bounce it off you, but I know at least in the United States, the legal working age, I believe, is 16.
Yeah, I think for this, if you're under 18 or 16, I don't know what the number would be. Look up YouTube's terms; they'll tell you. But in the case where you're 13 or over and you're not quite an adult yet, but you're making a YouTube channel and you're monetizing it, I think your parents would need to sign something.
Yeah.
I think they'll just need to be involved in some way. But yeah, I would say other than that, you would have, even at 13, I think you can have a bank account. And so, you know, your parents can help you set that up to where it's auto depositing the checks into your account and all that stuff. But yeah, you should be able to do that.
I mean, Ryan out here making like what, $7-8 million a year on YouTube. Ryan's toys, my goodness. Whew. He's like,
yeah, exactly. Look no further.
My man's 8 years old making more money than most adults. Like,
Do you need to put your game name in the title to have it found better on YouTube search engine, or how would you solve that? We were just talking about this.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, a little while ago, and it's funny because one of my other friends was actually wondering this too, because they're trying out a game that's not really known yet, and so they're really playing around with titles right now to try and figure out, like, the name of this game isn't going to pick up any search juice really. So what can I do? I think if you're playing a game that is known, you don't need the name of the game in the title. You just don't, because if the thumbnail looks like the thing that you're doing, the fans of that game will recognize it immediately. You know, they don't need the hand holding. Plus, you can use YouTube's categories to make sure you tag the game in the gaming category, tag the specific game you're playing. You could put it in the description and the tags. Yes, I've done both. I've put the name of the game in some videos. I've not put it in others. I've noticed no negative side effects from keeping the game name out. And sometimes I do it intentionally, so I can have even more intrigue and mystery in my title. There's more room because I didn't put the game name in it. I would say you absolutely need it. That's what I used to say. Not anymore. In terms of search, if you're worried about it, I would just say stick it at the very end of the title. Because I've seen people do that and the title gets truncated, but it's okay because the part that's getting cut off is the most irrelevant information at the end of the day. And that's the name of the game, because people saw the thumbnail and they know what they're getting into. What is the number one way to turn your views into subscribers? So your viewers into subscribers. This was, I think, the same channel that asked if they should upload daily. So I'm going to be careful when I say this here, but I was going to say make lots of content. Basically, the more content you have, the bigger your catalog of content is. And when somebody new finds your channel through one of your videos, YouTube is like, hey, you like player versus player basketball? Cool. They have a bunch of videos. Here's another one. Oh, you like that too? Here's another one. Before you know it, they've seen you so much, they hit subscribe because you've maybe given a call out in your video, or they just do it for convenience.
I would say I kind of feel like it's more about you as the creator providing value to your viewers. If you give your viewers a reason to come back to you and only you for a particular subject matter or whatever, they'll subscribe. And there's many reasons why somebody might subscribe to your channel. Maybe you entertain them, maybe you teach them, maybe they just find you comforting or something. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that goes into it. So, but yeah, it's all about providing value, whatever you feel like that means, or whatever you think that means in terms of your content. Figure out a way to provide value to your viewer, and they will keep coming back.
Yes, absolutely. All right. I'm just looking for some questions here. Thank you all for your questions.
Oh, I guess let me get to one real quick. So, Lazy Gaming is asking, can we upload WWE videos on YouTube? No, you cannot. Here's the thing. You want to if the moment you do that, especially if you have like all the music and all that stuff in those videos, you're getting copyright claimed and maybe restricted down, but probably claimed. You can like upload snippets, maybe I would say maybe 5 seconds if that of a WWE piece of content, but just straight up re-uploading their content, no, you cannot do it. They will come after you.
Yeah, I wouldn't re-upload anyone's content.
No.
Forget WWE, just anybody. But yeah, use their footage very, very sparingly.
Sparingly. Like I think most of y'all are aware, but I do use a piece of WWE stuff as part of my intro for all my videos, but it's like 1 second. So yeah.
Let's see. I am looking at some questions here, kind of scrolling up. All right. That's an interesting one we can talk about. Thank you for all these questions. Some of them are kind of long, so forgive us for taking a little bit here.
Yeah, y'all making us read today.
We could talk about that a little bit.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to hit this real quick. So to answer the question, if you have our vidIQ tool installed in your browser, you can use our daily ideas AI. It will literally generate video ideas for you, depending on your niche and the things that are happening in and around your niche. So if you haven't used that tool, I would suggest giving it a look. It is even available to free users, so you don't have to pay anything to use it. Although I think you only get like 3 ideas a day with that free version.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I would say check out our tool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can find that right here, Daily Ideas. Once you authenticate your channel, it will marry to your channel. So you won't be getting, this is going to show us ideas for like YouTube growth and things like that. That won't be the case for you. It's going to show you ideas for your channel if it loads. What's going on? There it is. So you can even see it in like list form, and it tells you out of these ideas, it feels like these ones have the highest view prediction. You can see all 50 for the day. So there you go. All right. Of course, look through your niche too. Just get familiar with what's going on in your community. Especially like join the subreddit of your community. You get a lot of inspiration from people just having conversations. What is the number way to turn your views into subscribers? We already covered that. Why is it that sometimes when I post shorts, I don't get any views from the shorts shelf? It's always the conundrum, isn't it?
I don't have a hard-hitting factual answer for this. I only have my guess. And my guess would be that your shorts are not getting enough retention.
Yes. If it's staying at 0, though, there's nothing to measure against. I've seen some shorts stay at like 0 or 1 or 2 for a long time. Sometimes it's patience, and sometimes it's an uncomfortable amount of patience where you just have to like keep your short there, and hopefully at some point YouTube decides, oh yeah, I forgot about this, and they put it on the short shelf.
Literally.
It's just such a new system, and YouTube obviously isn't going to tell us how it all works. But yeah, if you're talking, when you say don't get any views, if you're saying you get like this many views, meaning maybe it gets like 100 and then stops, that could be your retention. That could be that your shorts something about them, people are swiping away too quickly. But if you're staying at 0, it's just a matter of like, well, I just got to keep uploading, you know. So it could be one of those two things.
Yeah, the YouTube short shelf I still is an anomaly to me because I've had people that put a short up and it didn't really take off on the short shelf till like at least after a month or two after the video got published. So we don't know.
Yeah. My niche is dying as a whole. I'm sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, this action drags me with it since the algorithmically speaking, I cannot deviate. What exactly are my options now?
My question is, why can't you deviate? I mean, if you don't want it to die with the niche, you're going to have to deviate.
You as a creator have to deviate. And I think what that means, it's going to mean different things for different channels. Like there might be a through line with what you were doing on YouTube and what you want to do next. You have to know what you want to do next, first of all. So what are your other interests? What are other things that you can cover? And then is there a through line? Does it appeal to the same people who were watching you before, or at least some of them? And if you feel like the answer is no, I would just start a new channel. And what I would do is I would take everything I learned and apply it to my first video, right? Like you're just naturally going to do that. You already have all this experience now. So you're going to grow faster than you did before just because you already made a bunch of mistakes. You've already learned from them. So you start a new channel, starts to take off, you'll start doing well a lot faster than you did before. And I would also, when thinking about the next thing I'm going to do, does this topic I'm covering have a ceiling like my last one did? Will it eventually die a slow, horrible death? And will I have to do this all over again? If the answer to that is yes, I would be planning for that too. I would be thinking, well, do I really want to cover this then? And if the answer is yes, how can I cover this in such a way where I can survive even if people lose interest in this thing? And that's a question only you can answer through trials and tribulations. But that, I've seen people make pivots, and sometimes it's kind of amazing what they managed to do with a channel that was doing one thing, and then they move to something else, and suddenly it takes off even more.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to answer a question that I've been seeing recurring throughout the chat from multiple people, and a lot of y'all keep asking, how do I get this to the 4,000 hours of watch time required? A couple of things. Like I said earlier, if you have not experimented with, you should try live streaming. That is probably the quickest way to get to 4,000 hours of watch time on YouTube via live streaming. However, as I said earlier, you don't want to live stream just to live stream. Only do it if it makes sense within the context of your content. If your content lends itself to you being live and talking to your community on a regular basis, then do that. But if the way you do your content doesn't lend to live streaming, then maybe don't do that. The other way, and it's kind of obvious to me, the other way to get to 4,000 hours quickly is to make longer videos, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. You make longer videos, you get more watch time, and then that's another quick way to get to 4,000 hours. So live stream or make longer videos. Oh, we have of course we have a video on this. Naturally, we have a video on this.
I was wearing the same shirt when I recorded that video. There you go. Stare into my dumb face and watch this video, please. It's the most recent video we've done on how to get 4,000 hours of watch time. But yes, all of those things Viper said too.
Whole video on it. There you go.
All right, let's see. We got this question here. Views on my latest few videos are up, but I really don't know why. How do I continue this upward view trajectory if I don't know why I'm getting more views? This is a Minecraft channel too. I'm going to say something completely... You're not going to expect my answer here. If I had an ad to play right now, I would totally play it too, because that's a great cliffhanger. You should make yourself a YouTube Kids account. Go on there and search for your own videos and see if they're appearing on YouTube Kids. Because I know a Minecraft creator that this happened to. They were getting views. All of a sudden, they had no idea where they were coming from. Their analytics didn't really reveal much. And it took forever, but they eventually figured out that their stuff was showing up on YouTube Kids, even though they had marked it not for kids. It was still there. YouTube, and they talked to YouTube about this, and YouTube said, we get it. We understand that you said not for kids, but our system is going to do its thing. And if it feels like it's also suitable for children, sometimes it'll move it over to YouTube Kids as well. You'll notice that the engagement on their videos is low, even though the views are high. And at first they thought it was bots. They thought, I'm getting view botted. I'm going to get banned. This is crazy. And YouTube look into it. They're like, you're not getting view botted. We don't know what's going on, but you're not getting view botted. And that was frustrating because it's like, how do you not know what's going on? Either way, that's what it was in the end. It was the YouTube Kids app. So get yourself an account over there and try and figure out if that's what's happening. Otherwise, if that doesn't yield any results, it's just go look into your analytics. Is your content being posted externally? Sometimes I've had blogs pick up some of my videos and share them, and suddenly my views are spiking, and I'm like, where's this coming from? I look through my analytics, it's all external. I look a little bit deeper, and there's a website I've never seen before. And I Google the website, and it's like, oh, that's actually like a reputable blog, and it's covering my niche. Cool. They like my video and they posted it. Boom. So that can be a thing too.
I remember on my old channel 3 years ago, I posted a video and it got a lot of internal traffic, and I didn't realize what was going on. I looked deeper into it, like you. Come to find out, my video was shared by a Russian blog. I'm like,
huh.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I am seeing a lot of questions here. Let me refresh my chat.
Okay, let's see.
Here we go.
Oh, somebody's asking the question that we don't address here. So sorry.
Let's see. Well, there's plenty we don't address. I'm just grabbing some more questions. Thank you for all of your questions.
All right. While he starts, I'm just gonna gank and go here. All right. Here's one. Music City says, how many tags should I have in my video? I've been struggling with this one myself recently. Some people will tell you to tag stuff until you reach the limit. Some people will tell you 3 to 5 tags. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. Because like I said earlier, YouTube is so good at knowing what the content of your video is, even without tags. So I don't think the number of tags matters. What I will say is that they can help your video maybe get placed, because the more information you give the algorithm to go on, it can't hurt. But ultimately, I don't think the number of tags matters, if I'm being honest with you.
Going back to that question we had just a little while ago, Fabistry saying it was from other in traffic source that the views were coming in from. That could be still YouTube Kids, because YouTube Kids is not a traffic source as far as I recall. It should be. But yeah, look yourself up over there. Sorry, just pulled that up while I was looking for this question. Should I focus on viewer retention, views, or subscribers?
Retention. You focus on retention, the rest of the stuff will come.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead. If you have videos people can't click away from, that's just going to get more views and subscribers.
Because YouTube values retention, they value watch time. So if you can keep people watching a video for a longer period of time, then that is going to make YouTube suggest that video to more people. And if it gets suggested to more people, guess what happens? You get more views. And if you get more views, guess what happens? You get more subscribers. It all works itself out in the end. I'm just saying.
So let me show you something here. Pull it up in the background. Okay. No, never mind. I thought I had something cool to show you, but I don't.
False start.
So titles, thumbnails, watch time. That's in that order. It depends, but titles and thumbnails for sure, at least equally in terms of importance. Then focus on making sure people stay with the video once they click, right? Nobody knows how fantastic your editing is if they don't click into the video itself. Put views and subscribers aside, because if you do those 3 things right, you get the rest of it. You get the views, people subscribe, they hit the like button, they comment. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Don't ever, for anybody here, don't ever focus on getting subscribers. That's silly. You all want subscribers and we want to help you get them. Don't focus. We have our channel audit stream on Tuesdays, and we have a form that people can fill out. And in the form, we say, what's the focus of your channel? And I thought that was clear. What we mean, there's a little fruit fly in here. What we mean is, what's your channel about? What do you cover on YouTube? You will not believe how many people in that box say getting blank subscribers, getting 1,000 subscribers, getting 1 million subscribers. People are literally telling us, no, My focus is just growing a channel. I don't care what else. Everything else is just noise to me. Like, that's what I see when I see that. Focus on what you're good at. Focus on being the best at what you do, and everything else will come.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those answers kind of make sense because that's why people come to vidIQ, because they want to grow. But Mr. Beast would say the same thing. If you ask Mr. Beast, if you could have a one-on-one with Mr. Beast, and you could ask him, Mr. Beast, how do I grow? The one thing that I've heard him say consistently is
eat a healthy diet.
What's that?
Eat a healthy diet
and make better videos.
Oh,
he will always tell you to make better video, because again, if you make better videos, then YouTube will recommend them more, and then when they start recommending them more, that will bring you more views, more subscribers, all of the things.
So this question here, how to build a relationship with your audience. I like this question.
Ooh, yes. This is a very good question. Being present in your comment section, probably a big one. Obviously, as your channel grows, this might become more difficult, but when you're first starting out, it shouldn't be that difficult to answer every comment that you get. I remember a friend of mine, Daniel Batal, said that just don't answer comments with the typical canned answers like thank you, this, that, and the other. Try to have actual conversations with the people in your comment section, because it kind of makes you more personable and they feel like you actually care. The other thing, which I keep suggesting in this live stream, is to live stream. Because again, you can answer comments in a video, but that's not direct one-to-one interaction. That's like after the fact. You don't know when that person's going to get back to you. The creator might not get back to you, this, that, and the other. But when you are live streaming, you are literally interacting one-to-one with your community in real time. And then they can bounce ideas off of you. You can bounce ideas off of them. And it just strengthens that bond, because ultimately that's what you're trying to do as a creator. You're trying to build a bond with your community. And you'd be surprised how much live streaming can go to building that bond with your community. So my two things, being present in your comment section, live streaming.
Take some of your favorite YouTubers and like look at their merch. Like, what do they have merch with like fun slogans and stuff on it, right? Like, that's the kind of thing that only happens like because they built a community, and enough funny, memorable moments have happened in videos and on live streams where it's become like a theme, right? Like, create different themes, create different things that happen. If you game, create a common enemy. Out of like, make an enemy with an NPC in a video game, non-player character. Like, find somebody who in the game that you just decide you hate, and just hate on them, and get the audience like also with you. Yeah. Or start hating a beloved character, so everyone's against you. It's a common theme that you hate this character that everyone else generally loves, right? Like, these are some of the tactics I've used to create a stronger bond with my community. And you'd be amazed that when you do stuff like that, how many comments you get where people are quoting things you said, or they reference that theme that it's commonly in your videos, and sometimes they catch me. Like, there's opportunities I missed where I could have made a joke that would have been in line with a recurring bit we're doing, and I forgot, and they're like, oh, I bet so-and-so the NPC would hate that, So you can build these relationships very organically just by kind of being yourself. That's important. Because that works for me. That might not work for you, but hopefully it gives you an idea. Like, create recurring bits and things that are happening in your stream, and really kind of build that bond that way. I'm just adding on to what Viper said, by the way. I don't disagree at all.
Quick question, Dan. Somebody's asking, can they use our tool for a French channel? I'm assuming that our tool can be used in different languages, right?
Yep, absolutely. But yes, thank you for your question. If you ever have any trouble with that, vidIQ.com, support at vidIQ.com. You can email our support team and they'll help you out for sure. But yes, you absolutely can use vidIQ in other languages. I notice when I give away too much in my titles, I get lower views. This is exactly what you said at the beginning. If I keep my titles more vague, I get more views, but I get more hate clickbait comments. Suggestions help?
No, see, this is what Viper calls the vocal minority. Those that like to talk, but they don't represent the majority of your viewers. The vocal minority is very vocal when they don't like something, and that's okay. They are entitled to their opinion. But by no means should you as a creator let the vocal minority dictate what you do with your channel. There are always going to be people that don't like something that you do as a creator. I don't care how nice you are, how good you are, whatever. There's always going to be a vocal minority of people that will speak up about something that they don't agree with or something that you do that they just don't like. Get used to it. Don't change what you're doing because they're speaking up. If you get a lot of that stuff happening, then maybe it's time to think about it. But if one or two people are speaking up, ignore it and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, if it's overwhelming, if you notice your dislikes are just through the roof on a video, if you notice that it's just a lot of comments, like more than right, there is a line. I think there's a line between good clickbait, bad clickbait. I've talked about in videos. I know Nate from Channel Makers also has a video on this that's fantastic, and both of us have talked about the different ways that you can have this clickbait that is like acceptable and clickbait that is just obviously lies. There's I can list a few creators that I'm absolutely not going to that do it wrong, and they do it in such a way where it's like they've created this monster. Like they have to do this negative, like clickbaity title structure now because they really only get views when they fish for them like that. And then you look at their comments and you're like, wow, people really didn't like that. So you don't want to be that person. So if you feel like you're pushing the line too much, keep playing with this, like find a balance. That's the Viper, like exactly what you said. I have a pro tip for you, though. If you're dealing with the vocal minority problem, here's how to get rid of all those people. Find every way you can possibly say the word clickbait and put it in your blocked words. And suddenly, weirdly enough, all those people will never comment on your videos again. It's super strange. I don't know how that works.
Wow.
It worked for me.
That is quite the pro tip, Dan.
It's weird. Like they just left. All I did was update my blocked words and they're gone.
Like a magic trick.
I look through there sometimes though because I'd get curious. I'm like, did I push it too far? And if there's only one or two people that got caught in the word filter and they said clickbait, they're gone now anyway. People get really sensitive about that stuff, but ultimately, vocal minority.
Definitely. Super Bath Ultra wants to know, how do you bring back viewers? Like I said earlier, you bring them back by providing value. Whatever that means in your particular niche, whatever that means to you as a creator, you have to give people a reason to come back to you. Maybe that's your ability to teach them something. Maybe that's your ability to entertain them. Maybe that's your ability to provide them comfort, or whatever that means. However you feel like you can do that as a creator, provide some type of value and they will come back. Trust me, they will come back.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of a matter of like, you're saying bring back viewers. It sounds like you were doing something before that you're not doing now, which means people left. Your choices are to do what you're doing before, or accept the fact that some people are just never going to follow you for every pivot you make on your channel, big or small. So that's just another harsh reality of pivoting on YouTube, if that's what happened, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm seeing some interesting questions. There was one, the clickbait comment. They said they've already done that. They have blocked the use of the word clickbait, which is good. Just keep an eye on it so you can kind of check out if you've pushed it too far. I would give yourself, just put yourself in the viewer's shoes. Wait like a day or two so you have less of an emotional attachment to that upload, and then just do a quick check. Like, did I get too close to the line on this one? Yeah, that's funny. Let's see.
So here's the question from Dev Play. Should I do Squid Game gaming videos? Honestly, man, I think you missed the boat on that one. I don't think you're going to get much. Bit. Yeah, you're not going to get much views out of that because that ship is long sailed.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Season 2.
Yes. And we know that's coming. So when it gets to that point, then I would start that up again around there. But right now, you're not going to get much traction.
You will see trailers, like stuff they're going to promote this, and because it was so popular here in the States, like we are going to know when Squid Game Season 2 is upon us.
Yep.
You got to start then. If you have some ideas, hold on to them, write them down, and hold on to them. If you feel like there's no references to like the outside world, you can make the videos now and just hold them. But wait until the right moment. Wait until Squid Game is on people's minds again. You might wait for the trailer so you can kind of parody whatever was in the trailer in your content and things like that. But yeah, that would be my advice. Now we're just waiting for Season 2, but don't do it now.
Yeah.
I think I missed it by like a couple weeks, and even that was too late when I tried. Let's see. A lot of interesting questions here, but they're very long, so I'm just quietly reading through some of these. One of my most popular videos, a short, which I took from TikTok. I'm worried that it won't be eligible for monetization when I have the requirements. I've blurred out the TikTok logo. Will it be okay?
Nope.
It very likely won't. Even if you kind of trick the system, a real person may review. If you're like getting that shorts payout for the first time, for all we know, a real person reviews those because you're still kind of earning that trust, right? You don't want to risk that. If you stole this, if it's not your original content, if you took this from somebody else, I would urge you to stop doing that practice now, because as YouTube continues to develop, I expect they'll try and shut that down. Any channel doing that. Yeah.
Actually, down there you have it backwards. You might trick a human, but you're not going to trick the computer. The computer will know that that's a TikTok logo if you blur it out or not. Yeah,
you're probably right.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously won't tell us that, but you're probably right.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
computer knows.
These are sophisticated systems.
Once those markers are identified, it's a wrap. That video can be buried.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we can talk about
kids,
this.
Listen, kids. We've told you all before, but we'll tell you all again. If you don't own the content, you probably shouldn't post it. Now, that's not to say that you can't do things under fair use, because you absolutely can. But just be aware, if you repost something and you don't own it, you are putting yourself and your channels at risk. So be careful.
Stealing is bad.
Thank you, Dan.
What is good CTR? I wanted to bring this up because this comes up a lot. Here's the secret. I can't tell you what good CTR is because it's different for everybody. It's different as time goes on. It's different per upload. The best CTR is when you compete against yourself for a higher click-through rate. Let me just look at one of our popular videos on the Spanish channel here. So is 3.6% a good CTR? Well, apparently, because the video it's going up. The video is continuing to get impressions even today. Everything is firing on all cylinders. Look at this. We're way over the average on this video on our Spanish channel. When it started, though, because time, I hate when I lose that. When a video gets published, 5.2%. So this was probably above average. But for us, you're always competing against yourself in this regard. So this was above average. And of course, that's paid off because over time, it's gotten more and more impressions. So for us, this CTR is actually good. But for you, that might be devastating. For my channel, that would be a devastating CTR. When my videos get published, I know I'm in for a rough time if I get below about 15%. It's different for everybody. It's impossible to kind of give you a number. But look at your content, look at your data. And this is something that, will become a lot more clear. But again, you're comparing you to yourself in this case.
So apparently, according to YouTube, the average CTR is anywhere from 5 to 20%, I've heard. Just think about that range, 5 to 20%. That should tell you right there that there is no such thing as a defined good CTR, because as Dan highlighted, it's different for every single channel.
Yep. Because like the videos on the Spanish channel that get 5.2% CTR get shared a lot more widely. But if I get 5.2% CTR, YouTube's like, what happened? That's not what this channel does. That's not how that works. So it just depends on your niche. It depends on so many factors. Okay.
Ooh, here we go. All right. Equalking back. How do you deal with toxic viewers? This is a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ban the word clickbait in your blocked words.
Yes. But yeah, actually, Dan brings up a good point though. Making sure you have all the appropriate block words in the block word filter in your community settings. That's definitely a good way to handle a lot of that stuff. But I think a lot of it also will be on you as the creator to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, define how your community acts. I have said for a while now, and I will always maintain that your community is a direct reflection of you as a creator. So if you entertain toxicity, if you entertain negativity, That is what your community is gonna be like. That's what they're gonna get put out into the universe. But if you put out positivity and you maintain that positive vibe, you're probably going to attract positive people. So it's really up to what you as the creator are doing, what type of energy you're putting out into the world as it relates to how you deal with people in the community and different things like that. The cool thing is that when you do foster a positive community and they are jobbing with you and you're jobbing with them, if you do get the toxic people that come in there, they will be dealt with by your community. The community will take care of that stuff because they're not going to want to have that interruption in their flow. So when you get to that point, the community will probably take care of that for you. But before you get there, it's really up to you as the creator, as the type of relationship that you foster with the community. So that's my take.
Sorry, I was pulling questions, so I don't want to repeat anything you said, but I will just give my general answer here. Moderate, just definitely moderate. Block people, like give people no chances. I block people at the first sign of trouble because there's just too little time to be dealing with that. They're making my comment section or my live stream chat less enjoyable for the people who aren't being jerks. So they get blocked immediately. Be very ruthless. Swing your ban hammer hard and fast and don't ask questions later. It's not a big deal. And the great thing about YouTube is when you block people, like especially in live stream chats, they don't know, which is great. I think that's just fantastic. It takes them a while to figure out like, oh, no one can see what I'm saying. But don't worry about that. You're not here to babysit people and their poor behavior. So
not your problem.
Block people constantly. Continue to update your block words filter and do your best to let it roll off. It's hard when people are being toxic. It is so hard to let that roll off your shoulders. It's this part of this industry is about developing a tough skin though. And even today it's hard. I've been doing this a long time. It's still difficult sometimes, but develop a thick skin and, that which is the hardest bit of advice, but ultimately, yes, moderate your stuff and set the tone and the example. When I first started, I would let my viewers treat me like a punching bag because they looked like they were having fun and I didn't mind. Eventually I did mind. Eventually it became a problem for me and it was too late. My Discord community, my live stream chats, all my longtime viewers who were there, who were still, treating me like crap after I changed my mind and decided I didn't like that anymore. I couldn't get them to listen. They didn't pick up on the hints. They didn't listen to me when I was very blunt and said stop, because I had just fostered this community of toxicity, and at first I didn't care because I thought, oh, you got me. That was funny. And I wanted to be, I wanted to fit in and be relatable. But after a while, I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. I don't want that anymore. And so just know that like you really set the tone at the end of the day.
Okay, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but how much money do I make if I have 100K? I don't know about the rest of y'all, but if I have 100K, usually that means I have $100,000. Am I wrong?
Taxes.
Taxes. Of course, taxes.
If you mean subscribers, it's again, there's no like amount of money that's like, oh, this many subscribers equals this paycheck. It depends on what you're doing, depends on what your views you're getting. Subscribers, 100,000 subscribers could still mean a couple thousand views per video if you're not making videos that are pulling those original subscribers back. So it's impossible to say. It is impossible.
Yep. That's actually the right answer, y'all. Just y'all know how.
Also taxes.
Yeah.
Is it fine to use text to speech my gaming channel? I bet you know why I pulled this one up.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go ahead, Dan. Do your thing.
No, it's not. It's bad. And YouTube will ban you because the text-to-speech robot is copywritten. I don't think that's a thing. But it's certainly a turnoff for viewers. It's not. Put your voice on it. Or if you really don't want to, hire a voiceover artist from Fiverr and give them a script and have them dub your content. But don't do text-to-speech. It is incredibly amateur. There's so much competition and there's so many people investing their time and money into putting good voice over quality content together. You will never stand out against the competition if you're using text to speech in any of your videos. Sorry, not just gaming. The only time I've seen that where it's acceptable is that voice on TikTok that everybody uses.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like it's like a one sentence introduction to something funny that's about to happen, and it's more like ironic than anything else. If you're using it ironically, that's different. Other than that, absolutely not. Do not replace your human commentary with text-to-speech robot.
Don't do it.
It won't work.
Don't do it.
And on that same note, there was someone else who asked if they can do no commentary gaming. If you're making funny skits with music and sound effects and it's, it has its own personality that exists without having voiceover, yes. If you're just playing the game, no. Usually these games have big marketing campaigns and they give copies to people before you ever get your hands on it. And usually like a publisher or a news industry, a news place. What's the word? I'm losing it today, man.
Publication.
Yeah, a news establishment
outlet.
Kind of what news outlet. They will do the no commentary gameplay just to kind of give people a feel for what the game is like. They cover it already. Like you're behind. So no commentary, just generic gameplay is incredibly difficult. You gotta really, it needs to be more than that. It has to be funny, interesting, etc.
I think a lot of creators are out of touch today because they see how the big YouTubers are moving and they forget that the whole part of what made YouTube what it is today is that everyday people put their heart and soul into the content, which usually means you're talking to people, even if you're faceless and you're not showing your face on camera, just hearing your voice and how you talk to your viewers. That's what made YouTube. It's that homegrown feeling of any average everyday Joe can go out there, make a video, and upload it to the internet, and the world can watch.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to mimic and imitate what the bigger publications are doing, you are missing the point of YouTube. That's not how YouTube got to where it is today. So make sure you are putting your all into your content and making it as genuine and authentic as possible, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that question of like, why should someone watch? Like, why should I watch your content?
Yep.
And so if there's not commentary, that means there's no instructions. Like you're not showing me some kind of secret thing that, and explaining and talking me through it. If you are showing secrets and there's no commentary, then it needs to be really, really clear. Like if it's something that could use of a person to explain, then you got to add that, But I say all that, devil's advocate for myself here. I have seen channels do it, but they always have some kind of intent. The one I saw that worked really well, I don't know the name of the channel, but they were playing some game where they were designing something, and it was really like a visual experience. You're watching this clean slate kind of come together and get designed, and every couple of minutes they would have a text box that kind of slid onto the screen in a cool animated fashion. And it would give a really brief description of what they were doing next, why they were doing what they're doing, why they made some decision that they made. You weren't spending your whole time reading because it was really just the visual presentation of this design. There was nice music behind it. And then every so often you got that explainer and tons of views. It was working. So if you're sophisticated, if you know what you're doing, that's another way you can approach it. But when people ask this question, we go to the channel, usually it's just them quietly playing like a first person shooter or something. And that's just someone playing a game. It's not really content. I'm sorry.
Nope. Yep, you're right.
Okay. Can you earn ad revenue on vertical clips around 15 seconds? So YouTube Shorts, basically. I've read online that YouTube only pays per ad over 30 seconds if your content is watched. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I've heard that YouTube doesn't count a view until at least 30 seconds is been watched, right?
Well, now the click-through rate, like on YouTube, it's triggered when somebody auto-plays your video. So that would imply if that counts as a click, I would imagine that also counts as a view, which means we're talking a fraction of a second could count as a view. But yeah, when do you get ad revenue? I don't know. Technically speaking, I just don't know if that's true or not. I would only believe it if you heard it from YouTube, if the person who said that verified it, like with a YouTube help page or something. And then the other thing too is if you're talking about vertical YouTube Shorts, unless something changes, and I think it will eventually, there are no ads in those, at least right now. When I'm scrolling through those, I don't see ads. You could definitely find influencers promoting something, and that does count, but there's not an ad slot like there is the beginning of like a pre-roll or anything like that. So therefore, there is no ad revenue in shorts right now. It's all the shorts bonus. It's not getting ad revenue.
Yep. All right, here's an interesting question from Thod RBLX. Is it possible that a channel could get monetized mistakenly? That would be pretty difficult considering the fact that you actually have to do things in order to be entered into possibly being unmonetized. You have to fill out paperwork. You gotta do different things. So yeah, that doesn't happen on accident.
You could join an MCN if you're, if you were to try and become if you were to try to become a YouTube partner before the partnership program, right? Like MCNs will sign you, and I think that is one way around the partnership program. I wouldn't do that. I would definitely do some research on that. But I think maybe that's what, if you found somebody that is under the requirements, but they're certainly monetized, then that could be what they did. Or YouTube did say they're going to start putting ads on videos, even if you're not monetized, which, should just encourage you to go get monetized. As I have to get closer to my microphone, the cat's pushing it away.
Dan,
please stop.
Can we get a kitty cam? Can we get kitty cam, Dan?
I don't have kitty cam.
Just put it up to the camera.
We can't afford that.
We're putting Dan on full screen, you all. There we go. Oh,
she doesn't like that.
Oh, now she wants to run away. Oh, are you all? Y'all got content now. Somebody do something with this on Twitter. Beam it up or something. This is great, y'all. This is great. Okay, that was awesome. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks. Poor cat.
Kitties are awesome. We love kitties here.
She doesn't like when I pick her up. She's not a fan of that. I try not to do that too much. All right, what do we got? Do impressions matter? Yeah. You want your video to be shown to as many people as possible. But I think impressions are going to come from the watchability of your content. The more people that are clicking on your content and watching it through, the more impressions YouTube is going to give it. So yes.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I heard somebody say before that you shouldn't be worried about views as much as you should be worried about trying to get the most impressions possible, which makes sense because the more impressions you get, the more views you get. So
let's see. So going back to titles, I'm going to put a number in my title of the video. I'm just thinking, is that going to affect my gain of views in a video?
Oh, Dan's about to give you a lecture, man.
Well, I picked this and I thought it was going to be that, but now now reading it again, I'm like, wait, what do you mean exactly? So if we're talking episode number and you're putting the part number in the title, I would say it could affect you in a negative. It could affect you in a negative way because people, if you get up to part 22, right, like something big, people are like, oh my gosh, I have to watch 21 other videos just to know what happens in this otherwise interesting looking video. So if you feel like it's going to, turn people off, that's something to keep in mind. Especially, so it's you in your title or channel name, it says shorts. That's another thing we should address, actually. Here, let me show you. So YouTube shorts. Am I in the Spanish channel still? Here, let me switch back to vidIQ. So YouTube shorts. Let's talk about this real quick. When somebody finds your YouTube short, most of the time, they find it through here on mobile or desktop, wherever it is. So if I click this, I didn't get to choose this. This is not an experience that I chose. It's just playing a short that it thinks I'm going to like. And then if I scroll to the next one, I didn't choose this either. I didn't get a say in what this video is. I didn't get to choose that I watched this clip from Civil War next. I didn't choose this video about the Apple Store. So it's just showing me stuff and seeing how I react to it. And part number in shorts, if they're going on the short shelf, are completely irrelevant in that way. So you're part 27 in your short series, but YouTube's just putting it in a mix of stuff that nobody else asked for, So it's going to try and recommend that content to people it thinks it like it thinks that want to watch it. But if you have to watch the other 26 parts before 27 makes sense, you're doing shorts wrong. Shorts should all be able to live on their own. You should be able to watch one short, get the full experience, and then you will enjoy it. You'll probably watch it through again if you really like it. You'll hit the like button. You'll give YouTube all the positive signals, and then it's more likely to push your next short to them.
On the flip side, if you are talking about putting hashtags, like just a hashtag, a certain term in your titles.
Oh, Shoot, that's probably what they were saying.
Then you might be right, though. We don't know. But if you are talking about actual hashtags, that's not going to help you much because hashtags are designed just to group a bunch of videos together by a certain topic. But I don't think they're going to help your video get more views and impressions.
Yeah. So hashtag shorts is what we're all asked to put in our titles or our descriptions. Either works. And no one really checks this. This is interesting for us data nerds. Like, this is interesting. 233 million videos, 12 million channels all using this hashtag. That's cool. That's really cool. But you can see videos that are premieres using the hashtag are showing up here as well. Sometimes you'll see widescreen videos here that are not on the short shelf showing up in this pivot table or whatever you call this. So it's not, no one, and that's the other thing, no one on YouTube is searching with hashtags.
Correct.
So on TikTok, that's a different thing. Like, TikTok is heavily reliant on hashtags. YouTube is not. And I think that's an important distinction because, yeah, shorts are so similar to TikTok, but it's on a platform that doesn't make good use of hashtags. So sorry, you put the pound sign and I read number. Now we've covered both, though. So whether you meant hashtags in shorts or you meant episode numbers, we've covered both. And I hope everyone got something out of that.
Indeed. So we got time for a couple more questions. But before we get to that, a lot of you all are asking questions that we have covered throughout the live stream. So I would suggest you go back and watch the replay when you have time, because a lot of your questions have been answered throughout this whole live stream. So if you have the time at some point, do that.
Yes. Yes, please do check out. We've answered a lot of questions today. So if I post my own video from TikTok on YouTube, can I monetize it? Yes, if you download it first. You can repurpose content. You just got to make sure that watermark goes away. So download it from TikTok.
Although, again, as we told you earlier, don't just re-upload somebody's content that if it's not your content, don't do that because it's not to you.
They did say their own video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if it's your content, yes, you can totally repurpose it. When you say monetize, though, keep in mind shorts are not monetized, at least as of today's live stream. So you are eligible for the Shorts Creator Fund, even if you're not in the YouTube Partner Program, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's more about, will this get pulled from YouTube? And if you have a TikTok watermark on there, YouTube is trying to knock those down.
Okay, Dan, I think just for clarification, can you please explain how the Short Creator Fund works?
So we don't know how many views it takes on all of your shorts across your channel in a 28-day time span, but you can get a payout. It starts at $100. That's the lowest payout. And it goes up to, I think, $10,000. So somewhere in between there, YouTube will send you a check if you're eligible that month for a shorts bonus. I think I got my first one and I was at just over 500,000 views for the month. And I showed somebody and they're like, that's lower than I've seen it. Like, usually people need more views than that to get it. So I think it varies by niche. It's impossible to say how many views you need before you get a payment. Nothing's guaranteed with the shorts bonus, with the Shorts Creator Fund. But we're hoping in time YouTube figures out how to incorporate AdSense into shorts. And that way you can, like traditional videos on YouTube, earn some money that way too.
Yep. All right. So our last question of the day, I just saw where'd it go? Somebody was asking about the VPH stat that we've been showing. Here we go. Do you have to be pro vidIQ to see the VPH on every video, or is that a free extension? I think that's
I believe that's free.
Yeah, that's free. Yep.
There are times where it doesn't show up. But for the most part, I'm on the wrong browser. Sorry. For the most part, that is free. So yeah, this video is getting 1.5K views right now. A whole bunch down here are coming up. So yeah, but these live streams, they're not showing up for live streams. That's probably why, because they're live. But yeah, that's how that comes into play.
Yeah, but obviously you have to have the vidIQ extension installed on your browser to see that stuff. But yes, it's free.
Yep, Chrome or Firefox.
Yep.
Huh?
I'm saying, and on that note,
we got one more. I want to answer this one real quick.
All right, let's do it.
I tried to get my viewers to comment, but it didn't work. I had a segment where I tried to have them guess the NBA player, but I got no comments. How to fix? I had an idea for this, which is why I wanted to tackle it real quick. Ask your viewers about themselves. Try instead, like, it sounds like a fun segment, but there's not a lot in it for them. So try asking them about themselves. It could have been confusing too. Maybe they looked and they genuinely wanted to answer but didn't know. Maybe it was just, if it was a silhouette of someone like shooting a basketball, that could be so many people, right? Like, so it's sometimes it's hard to like get an answer if the question's too hard. But if you ask about themselves, and that could be as simple as, did you play basketball this weekend? Right? Start with simple questions like that. And then I would also be keeping note of those questions for your community tab as well, because sometimes questions like that make really good community tab polls, which is a whole nother way to engage with your audience. So that was my suggestion. I don't know if you had any. I just wanted to tackle that one.
No, you bring up a good point, because we know people love to talk about themselves. So yeah, if you make it more about them, I think you will get a lot more of a response for sure.
People love to talk about themselves,
and Kitty loves me on camera.
Yeah, look at this.
I've never seen him on camera this much.
It's because we're at the 2-hour mark. This cat has like a fantastic internal clock. Always knows my live streams are ending.
The cat is demanding dance time. So on that note, we want to thank all of you all for being here. Appreciate it. Just so you all know the schedule, because sometimes I see you guys ask about it on social media. We do live channel audits every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So that's why you didn't really see any channel audits today, because we only do those on Tuesday. Every Wednesday, we do the Q&A. We'll talk about a particular topic for a set amount of time. And then after we're done talking about that topic, we will be more than happy to answer your questions. So Tuesdays are channel audit days. Wednesdays are Q&A every week, like clockwork.
And we got some awesome guests coming up too on streams here soon. So stay on the lookout.
That's right. Stay on the point. Oh, and the other thing, I see a lot of y'all are asking how to submit for your channel to be audited on Tuesdays. When that stream goes up, and it might already be up now for next week, but maybe not. But when it goes up, there's a form in the description that you need to go down and fill out the information in the form. I think we have 2 forms. We have one for non-gaming channels, and then we have a form just for gaming channels. Make sure you fill out the correct form so you can have a chance to have your channel audited. Now, this does not mean that your channel is guaranteed to be audited, because we get hundreds of submissions every week. It's impossible for us to go through all of them. But if you put your information down in those documents, you have a good chance of maybe having your channel looked at. So that's how you have a chance to get your channel audited on Tuesday. So be on the lookout.
There you go. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Peace.